Well. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special FTSN breaking news edition of FTSN. The breaking news, Mike McDaniel officially fired as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Adam Schefter reporting that Stephen Ross and Mike McDaniel met earlier this week. They recapped the season. They previewed what could happen next year. Ross took a step back, reflected, did some reflection, and said, no, we're moving on. Crazy news coming out of Miami. Finally, a clean sweep. Yes, DSG. Yes, we have talked about it. It will happen. It will be live. He will do it live, buying the HN jersey. But let's get into it. You know, Evan and I were texting today. There's a lot of stuff going on at FTSN. 2 Dolphin shows tonight with Real Talk, and then Fins TV Plus, and then we got overtime tomorrow. So we're like, oh, what's going on with the GM search? We got 4 guys remaining. Evan's like, no, I don't want Josh Williams because of McDaniel. Well, lo and behold, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Mike McDaniel let go as head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Awesome. Listen, we weren't prepared for this. Obviously, Evan works from home. I work at an office, so I had to run downstairs.
Only today, though.
Today. But Evan, lucky Evan's working at home today. But we'll wait for Mr. Sammy. Sammy will be joining us shortly. Sammy of Fins TV. Pretty freaking wild right now. But
I don't know what to do.
Let's just see. Look, we got Josh Kimmel from No Holds Barred. He's texting me right now. Harbaugh to Miami, baby. Everybody's freaking out because what does this mean? We're going to get into that. But my goodness, Evan, very quick, man. You've been calling this for 4 seasons now, maybe 4.5. It's happened. You thought, listen, I just want to say this before you do. During the season, how many "it will never happen" was said, and how many times, Greer will never be fired. It's never going to happen. Greer will never. He has something on Ross. There's pictures. The lawsuit. But Greer gets fired. Oh, they're never going to bench Tua. Tua's tied to the hip to McDaniel. They'll never do it. They'll never get rid of Tua. They benched Tua. They're never going to fire McDaniel. Look, they're interviewing Josh Williams. They just fired McDaniel. Evan, do you owe an apology to Stephen Ross?
Do I owe an apology to Stephen Ross? No. Because I did go, like I said to you guys back in September, I did go to Temple in the Jewish New Year, and I am not kidding. I actually sat there and prayed on my knees for Stephen Ross, my token tribesman, to make my dreams come true. And for me, I didn't believe it was going to happen because my entire life, Bobby, that I can remember, when have the Dolphins ever done something for us that makes sense? We love our team. We love our franchise. We live and breathe them. We give all of our passion every Sunday. We spend the money on the merchandise. Bobby, you and I could probably take our kids and our family on a very nice family vacation for the amount of investment we put in the Dolphins. Like, honestly, that is no joke. All of us who are watching, right? So for me, I am proud of the growth. But I think what happened now is the fact that when the season started, they fell off a cliff. You could tell that the players were just not performing at the level, so Greer was gone. Then something happened with Tua's arm. Tua got benched. Then around that time in Halloween, we found out that Troy Aikman was going to be hired. We got hired, and that sort of led to maybe Tua getting dropped, then Tua got ripped, and he got fired, then he got let go, then he got dropped. We all said it was going to be a trifecta, right? I said at the beginning of the year that all 3 were tied together, and it never made sense for them all to stay. I will tell you this. Greer had 25 years. Mike McDaniel, I've said this to you guys so many times. As a human, come over for dinner, go have a beer, go joke around, have a great time. As a head my offensive coordinator, happy to have him. As my as my head coach on the sideline, my beautiful Puerto Rican, who I got to meet this summer, who has become like my brother, just like you. We've been asking for it. We've been clamoring for it. He put something nice on X. I'm numb to this, actually, because I don't want someone to ever be fired. No one ever wants to see someone get fired. So I hope that he gets a job somewhere else and I hope much success. The problem for me is he was hired at the wrong time. If this was 2019 and Mike Mcdaniel was our head coach, I'd be fine. This for me is a confirmation of what I said in 2022, that he was not the guy to lead us to the greatness during this window. Bobby, we have about 100 and 200 podcasts that I said this. So for all of us out there, let's think about it not from the human perspective, from the football Miami Dolphins perspective. This is the first time since the ownership of Stephen Ross where he's cleaned house. Quarterback, coach, general manager, clean slate. Opportunity, adversity is opportunity, gentlemen. And here by the way, it's very clear. And Sammy, you said it, by the way, wonderful show. Sorry I couldn't see you on Tuesday. I must say, though, I never laughed so hard. The McDaniel moments for me with taking a drink, you had me in your little, I didn't think you'd throw me into your little thing, but I think that was just classic. I love it. I love it. But no, guys, I want you guys to have a chance to talk. But at the same time, for me, this was so needed. It's a cleanse. Like I said to you guys, it's like, I don't want to use the term, but when you are going to remove something from somebody's body that is spread out, I'm not going to use the word, you need to try to get everything. And there's been people who have been a thorn or something in our team, I'm not going to use the C word, on our franchise. And we had to get it all out. It metastasized. You had to get it all out. You really did. And that's that was it. So for me, this is a great opportunity for the Dolphins to move forward, Bobby and Sammy. This is the opportunity for them that we've been asking for forever. And I think, by the way, the Harbaugh firing may have been but having Aikman there, people criticize Aikman. You, me, and Sammy have been pro Aikman. They asked the question. I guarantee you Aikman asked the question. And I guarantee you the tape of the game where he was ripping McDaniel came up. Oh, yeah. And do you want him as a head coach moving forward? And I guarantee you, none of them said we believe going forward. Maybe Joshua didn't. But guys, this is something I've been clamoring for 4 years. This team needs a fresh start, a head coach who owns the team. And I hope they go get a head coach who actually has the player personnel. They can hire the general manager, but I want the head coach to actually be a veteran. No more of this, Bobby. Bobby, veteran head coach. No OC, whether it's Stefanski, whether it's Harbaugh, I want a proven head coach. No newbie. No newbies.
Sammy, your reaction, my man.
First of all, I had to react to Evan. Evan, I said on the show, thank you for being such a good sport. I love you too.
So. Oh, I love you guys. Honestly, I wouldn't know what I would do without you guys.
I had to explain myself because someone who doesn't know the relationship we have was like, well, boy, he's saying check. Yeah, sound good, fun. But on McDaniel, first of all, I understand how you are numb. I know many fans right now are numb, but I try to be the voice of common sense. I know, of course, he has a family. I really know. I said in my statement, I really believe and truly believe in my heart he wanted to win. He wanted to bring that playoff into the Dolphins. He tried the best he could. If you thought Chris Greer sucked, so he only shares part of the blame. It's not completely on him. So I think he's gonna be much better after this experience. I do believe he's gonna be head coach once again when he's more mature. I don't think it's gonna be immediately, but maybe Cleveland. Who knows?
Maybe Baltimore.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think I thought we has a chance to be the Baltimore coach that he does, but maybe who knows? Could you imagine? Lamar that would be something kind of weird. But I do believe that he wanted to win. I do believe he wanted to do the best for the Dolphins community. So he was involved. He's a good man. No one can say otherwise. So best wishes in his future endeavors for Mike Mcdaniel. Having said that, I think we talked so many times about that. Ross already had done things that we did not expect them to do. He fired Greer mid-season. They benched Tua. The only missing thing, they fired some of the scouts who have been there for years and years and years, and only one thing was missing. And I truly believe that, and I don't know, my brother George Albaran disagree with me on this, but I truly believe that the voice of the GM candidates mattered. I think it was proven today right. I think he said when he was, basically interviewing every single guy, probably most of them, maybe all of them, who knows, but that's my opinion, truly believe they should move on from head coach. And that's an alert. That's something that would say to Stephen Ross, well, if nobody wants them, I might be on the run on this. So I think that had a lot to do with it. I think that had to do with something. The Dolphins moving on Alexander late tells you a little bit. I I'm not sure, but I cannot say it's not going to happen because he has other better opportunities probably than Miami right now with the Dolphins, the mess the Dolphins have. But those guys lost challenges. You can see how Denver did it. Denver brought the get rid of Russell Wilson. They lost the Dolphins by 70. Sean Payton was a horrible year for the first year coach. Kansas City with division, Herbert in the division, and he didn't care. He wanted to go there, and he's number one seed this year.
Good
So
point.
you cannot say the Dolphins are on Cap Hill. Yes, they are, but you're getting a blank canvas for the Dolphins. Once you get rid of Tuba, once you get rid of everything, you get a blank canvas in Miami. Where a owner that's been criticized, and I criticize him too, but I always defend him also that invest in the team. You cannot say you're gonna be cash strapped. He doesn't make the best decisions, and my co Steve Hall was saying, it's all about the money, but also invest in the money too. He invests of his own money, and he's gonna invest to get a winner to Miami. So he's been trying, and he's been failing. But I always say that he has the best in heart because he wanted Harbaugh before, he wanted Payton before. He failed. He failed, but he had the right idea. So hopefully this time around he can make it happen. It will be awesome if it's Harbaugh. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna get enamored with the head coach candidate right now because that's always a bad idea. Because when you get it now, we suck. We suck again. So I ask please the offense nations. Sometimes you get too enamored, and sometimes we looking back, it's not the right decision that what we wanted. So I think it's great. I said last night, everybody got be fired but Mcdaniel, but that doesn't mean he was not going to get fired. I think I told that to Evan, told that to Bobby, that I truly the GM candidate will have a lot to say on the future of Mcdaniel. I think that what happened. I think GM candidates basically spoke and said, we had all agreed that we have to move on from them. So good luck in the future endeavors. It's a great day today because even with Mcdaniel not being a great guy, he's not the right man for the job in Miami. Miami is a loose city. It's a wild city at times. You need to a coach that respect. They earn the respect of the players, not that basically say, do whatever, be late here, and we'll figure it out later. No. I think Harbaugh is going to command the respect of the players. Is it Harbaugh? Is someone a younger coach? Be aware because you have a tough stack ahead.
So I just want to say, I think you brought up a great point because everybody, yes, right, minus DSG in the comments here, having a little bit of hesitancy with Harbaugh. Most everybody would prefer to see John Harbaugh as the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I mean, he's the eye in the prize. However, I think Sammy's right on the money when he says don't lock in on one guy. And I'll tell you one of the main reasons why, not only what Sammy says, which is 100% true, because we all lock in on one guy and it's not that guy. And oh my God, the world is over.
Yes.
The Dolphins suck. They're going to continue. No, this is different because we're going to get a new general manager. We're still going to get 2 new player personnel guys. Now we're going to get a new head coach, and we're looking at another quarterback. Yeah. So this is different from all those other times. So let the process play out. Tomorrow, I think I wouldn't be surprised if by tomorrow we know who's going to be the new general manager of the Miami Dolphins. And now if it's Josh Williams or now you don't have to worry about the McDaniel thing. Now it's a new GM, a young guy who I was telling Evan earlier today, and I understand the hesitancy, especially with the McDaniel connection. That I said, besides the McDaniel connection, I don't have real hate for Josh Williams. I don't dislike it because if you look at his history and what he's done with the Niners, would help build that team, and what because we go, man, how the hell is they lose Brock Purdy and they're still damn good. They brought in a 7th-round quarterback, and you see what they've done. So there's no hate there. But the only reason why we would hate on it was because it's a McDaniel connection. Now you don't have that anymore. I don't know how this favors Champ Kelly at all. I think he's like the last in line, which it is what it is. But John Eric Sullivan, Chad Alexander, 2 fresh voices in the room. If one of those guys are GM, and Evan brought up a crazy idea that if the floor gets let go in Green Bay, does that connection with Sullivan, does that bring him to Miami? And again, I understand what DSG is saying in regards of the hesitancy on Harbaugh with, hey, look, what has he done lately? He couldn't win with Derrick Henry and Lamar. Sometimes fresh starts are better for everybody. Look what Sean Payton has done with Denver. You look at, there's just a history of that. Look what Andy Reid from Philadelphia to Kansas City, you install that culture. somewhere. I think this is great news for Miami, whoever going to be the new head coach, because now you're getting a new general manager, and they're both coming in at the same time. I'm not sleeping on Champ Kelly whatsoever. It's a great point by Steve. He has not had a real opportunity to be a general manager in this league. He's been an interim GM, so I don't think it's fair for anyone to go, I don't want Champ Kelly. Yes, you could say, man, in tears, I would prefer this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. But anybody saying I would hate on one guy or the other, I don't think it's fair, because you don't know. This is a fresh guy coming in. This is a guy who hasn't had the opportunity yet. What did he do in the 2 weeks he was GM of the Dolphins? He was an interim general manager. I do know that I loved his energy on the sideline. I do know I loved his energy in the locker room. I saw how the players connected with him. That's why I do like a Chad Alexander, a former player, as the general manager. This guy, the Chad Alexander, is a former player, and he's had 20 years, I think, with the Ravens as well, besides just being the Chargers assistant GM. I like him because he is a former player. He could connect with players. John Eric Sullivan, all those years with the Packers and what they've done over the years, he's an attractable candidate. But why Dolphin fans should be happy, nonetheless, no matter what name should come out, it's because it's a fresh start. It's not Greer and a new coach. It's not McDaniel and a new GM. It's to be a new GM, a new coach, a new structure foundation within the Miami Dolphins. So as much as we'd say, which is true, McDaniel is a great guy, down to earth. I've seen him before. My mother's met him. He's a really nice guy. You can tell, and God bless him and all that whatnot. But as a head coach, they needed to move on. That's it. And he will get another opportunity, and he will be better. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody interviewed him now than wait later. But I think he could be an OC somewhere and go get a job. But right now, this was the best case scenario for the Miami Dolphins, and Dolphin fans should be ecstatic that we're going to get a fresh sweep. It's no longer one guy and the other. We blew it up, and now it's time to rebuild. Big things happening in Miami. Evan, you're on mute.
I do that because I don't want to type, right? Aren't you going to miss this, guys? No, we're not done with that yet. No, just to give some context into the Dolphins' decision to fire Mike McDaniel. Per multiple reports involved in the decision, owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel on Tuesday. Remember, he was only supposed to meet with him on Friday, so he was only supposed to meet with him today, tomorrow. And the outcome of the meeting left Ross very conflicted. He really likes Mike, loves his intelligence, offensive mind, but Tuesday's meeting resulted in some hard thoughts. Ross didn't feel like the results were there, and despite the end-of-year production, Ross simply wasn't comfortable moving forward with the status quo. Now, for the elephant in the room, I'm told Dolphins have not yet been in touch with John Harbaugh or anyone in his camp, and people close to the decision are adamant the decision to move away from McDaniel is independent of Harbaugh's availability. I'm told the Dolphins will conduct a new head coaching search after the GM is in place, which should be as tomorrow, actually, because they're saying by tomorrow, only because last night they met with Champ Kelly, and last night, all three other candidates flew into Miami to meet with the Dolphins today. It could lead to discussions about Harbaugh. And yes, one of the candidates, Charles Alexander, is very close with Harbaugh, but people close to the situation tell me this decision to fire Mike would have been made either way. Do I believe that? Yes or no? Sammy, go ahead.
They cannot circumvent the Rooney Rule, so they cannot say, "Well, we're gonna go." They have to, the league is always very strict on Miami, so.
But they have an easy way out.
Yeah.
Weaver, and Studesville. All you have to do is say we're going to interview Anthony Weaver.
Yeah, but right now they had to say face and say we didn't do anything this with anyone in mind. We did it because we're gonna wait for the GM, and that's the right thing to do because we still don't know who the GM is gonna be. What if they offer the job to Alexander? He says no, then you're stuck because that happened before that candidates have declined the job, the office job. So they're very, very cautious. They're very, very careful. They're moving fast, but appear to be moving slow. If you think about it, they're kind of moving fast. They were ready as soon as the season ended. They had the candidates. They were ready in the second round of the university presidential interviews, which is good. By tomorrow, we're probably going to have a new GM. So they say that they're moving quickly, but they're to be calm. So, but I do believe they try to save face because this Bryce has a history. I was talking with Steve this morning with the Sporano Ireland thing that they took years to survive that. Years. So, they're being considered. And I truly believe that Stephen Ross liked Mike McDaniel. So, they're still waiting for the ball to be called.
Love in the statement. He said love in the statement. He never used.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the reasons I thought it would be difficult. I thought it would be difficult within the season. After the season, the percentage keeps changing. And you ask me so many times what you think the percentages are, and they're coming up, but they're going down. It's because of that. is because I do believe Stephen Ross wanted to keep McDaniel, but I think that's the case that basically was told you to it's the best thing to keep him.
Also, you know what I've learned reading a lot of this, guys, and I think you guys will agree. When Ross first became owner and we were all much younger, he used to talk all the time. If you've noticed in the last number of years, the last time we heard him speak, literally, was like probably when they hired McDaniel. He's very quiet because he puts his foot in his mouth. He talks too much. He doesn't know because he's not a football guy, and sometimes he'll say things like, I don't know if you guys happened to watch the Dallas Cowboy thing yesterday, Bobby. Did you hear what Jerry Jones had to say? Like Stephen Ross, he wouldn't say something as stupid as that, but he would say something like he would say something about Mike, like he would do something wrong, right? That he does everything through statements. People have to read what he says before he actually says it, right? But no, this is for me. By the way, just FYI, just so you guys are aware, all the people went through the Zoom interviews. The only one who didn't have to go through a Zoom interview is Chad Alexander. Chad Alexander's first interview is actually today. He actually got to bypass the Zoom interviews.
Yep.
So that could be something there. But by the way, I'm not sure. By the way, I'm not necessarily sold on Harbaugh necessarily. Bring in Stefanski. Bring in.
No,
They have to bring everybody.
I'm going to say Harbaugh obviously is the big get because this is a championship coach who's been there for 18, whatever.
There's no cap on coaches.
You know, Harbaugh is an absolute, like, if that was to happen for Miami, that's huge. But like I said, we did an episode not too long ago, Evan, during the season about potential head coaches. And, for me, there are some rookie coaches that people are going to bring up. I need the veteran coach for me. Again, I'm okay with a rookie general manager. But if you look at those veteran coaches, you said Stefanski, Harbaugh. I know people, I've heard McCarthy. Look, as long as it's a veteran coach, I'm not against it because, and the main thing is that I keep bringing up for everybody, it's a fresh start for Miami. It's going to be a fresh start with new faces and a new game plan. It's going to be very interesting to see. Again, I think Sammy brought it up. It's moving fast, but it's also moving slow. Like they were the last team basically to fire their coach, yet they were so fast to move through the general manager process. It looks like it could be decided by tomorrow.
They've been waiting. They've been doing their scouting. Like
they're doing their homework. And I will say again, they're doing things differently. That's the other reason why people I can't see why anybody would complain about how this process is playing out or what Miami is, because look what they've done. Again, a lot of people were complaining about Aikman, which was crazy to me. How could you complain about Troy Aikman being hired as a consultant when it's a consultant job? It's not full-time consultant when he's an outside voice. That's something that's different that the Dolphins have done, that Stephen Ross has done.
That's what you want.
He went outside of his circle, and said, let me bring somebody in who's not going to be a yes man. He brings in Troy Aikman. That was the first sign things were different. Before then, well, the big thing was he fired Greer. Nobody thought that it was going to happen. He fires Greer.
During the season, at least.
Then they bench Tua. They all decide, like, hey, we're moving on. I don't care about the big contract. We're moving on. Now, what do? They wait till after the season. And, if you think about it, it is kind of respectable and stuff. They say, you know what? We're not going to be hasty and fire McDaniel. I like McDaniel. We have a good relationship together. Blah, 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 blah. We understand the circumstances that played into this. They waited out. He talks to McDaniel. He goes, what happened last year? McDaniel gives his excuses. What's your plan for next year? All right, great. We'll reconnect. Starts the interview process, and then Ross decides, you know what? I gotta put the best interest of the team forward. And he fires McDaniel. So I'm gonna be everything that has I did. I sent her the graphic. I said, hey, we are going live. But everything that happens now, I just tell everybody, just wait and see. Like, there is no reason for anybody to hate on anything. It's all a fresh start.
Sammy's typing like Finstanza.
He's at work. I understand. It's okay.
I'm just teasing him. But I will say this. I want to talk about Mike McDaniel as a whole, because let's just talk about the Miami Dolphins and the bipolarization of the Miami Dolphin fans. There are going to be people, like there's Brittany, who people know in the circles, who does some shows. You're going to see Daniel later. People are going to be very mad about the McDaniel let go. Let me be clear. I said that I wanted Tua more than McDaniel gone. The problem with McDaniel was the situation he was put in. I think he was given an opportunity to succeed, but near the end, he was put in a position to fail, and he was the wrong coach at the wrong time. and he would not get out of his own way. That was always my problem with him, is he wouldn't take on, like Bobby, like for you, your number one thing that you hated was the fact that, and Sammy, but he wouldn't give up play calling. He wouldn't change any structural things about the organization on the sideline. Nothing ever really changed. So I believe Mike McDaniel, number one, has a 3-year contract left. He could take a break, go on to media, figure something out, or he could jump into another position. I believe for him, if he jumps into another head coaching position immediately, Sammy, and don't tell me if you disagree, I don't think he'll be successful right away. No. Unless it's an up-and-coming franchise that's going to be patient. Because people are saying Cleveland, right? You're saying Cleveland? He has to deal with Deshaun Watson. They're not taking him off the team, right? You have Shador. You're going to have Shador Sanders, too. Like, you have Dylan Gabriel. Like, you're going to be in the same situation you are sort of with the Dolphins. Like, so for me, Bobby and Sammy, like, I want Mike McDaniel to succeed. And I don't – but my number one fear, and this is so Dolphins, no matter what we do podcast next year, let's say Mike McDaniel gets another job right away. Every person who didn't want him fired is going to say, "Oh, you shouldn't have fired him. You shouldn't have fired him." Bill Belichick was awful in Cleveland. Awful in Cleveland. Are you now going to say, "Oh, Cleveland should never have fired him," right? Or you're going to say Deshaun? Like every coach who has struggled in one place because they do well somewhere else, they're like Jimmy Johnson did well in Dallas. That means he's a bad coach because he didn't do so great in Miami. Or look at how many coaches have had to fail. Andy Reid went to 4 championships in Philly. Oh, he took him a couple of years, but then he's a good coach, so he did well in Kansas City. Just because a coach doesn't do well in one spot, you can't hold it. Well, he would have done well. No, he's a good offensive mind. I think he'll be successful somewhere else. I think he needs to go to take some interview classes because someone posted, I will not miss the ums. And I like the fact that he doesn't answer the question in 5 minutes. He actually beats around the bush. But for me, I think he'll be successful somewhere else. But the cleanse, the level of – I don't want people to realize it's a sad day for Mike McDaniel. It's tough to fire your coach. But this is a good thing for the Miami Dolphins because this is the first time they can have a blank slate at GM, quarterback, and head coach. That has not happened in most of our lifetimes, ever. It's the best thing that could possibly happen to this franchise at this moment.
Let me ask you guys, kind of like an exercise, not named Harbaugh. Give me 2 names that you would like Miami Dolphins to interview as a head coach. Evan.
Kevin Stefanski and the other veteran who's available. It's really Stefanski, Harbaugh, and the only coordinator I would consider is maybe Joe Brady if you want a young up and coming or who's available. Because like Matt LaFleur, I'd bring in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'm trying to think who's another head coach who's not available. I'm not touching Mike McCarthy. So if I had to say right now live outside of Harbaugh, it'd probably be Joe Brady as a young one, and Kevin Stefanski as the veteran. You, Sammy?
It's Stefanski or Harbaugh for me because the other was Ron Rivera. What I told you before that has experience in college right now. It will be interesting for me. I'm not advocating for him, but going back to my dad a little bit. The Cleveland thing. The Cleveland thing was brought up by someone in media in Cleveland saying that he might be an option for the Browns. And I think with Shador, who's kind of similar to doing so many things, it will make sense. Justina Anderson on Fins TV on Tuesday gave her opinion that some circles say that they believe that Mike McDaniel if he was out in Miami, could take a leave of absence to deal with family and stuff. So she didn't say it as a statement. She said that basically as an opinion of some people around circles that McDaniel might not coach this year, so he might not come back this year. I think he will be a good head coach in the long term when you go back to another established coach as coordinator and learns how to be a head coach. But right now, I see Bobby basically in the cold, right? How cold is where you are, Bobby? How cold is it?
For me? Not bad.
Bobby.
It's like 50-something degrees. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm at lunch break, so I can spoil you a little bit. So how's the weather where I am? A little bit of the weather. It's kind of a nice weather over here. So
it's
kind
beautiful.
of sunny in the 80s. So I just wanted to rub it in a little bit to the guy in Canada and the guy in freezing Tennessee.
I've been there. I recognize that building. I've been on that streak.
I'm in my lunch break, so I can take that. I'm almost out of my lunch break, so I better hurry up. But, I want the veteran coach. LaFleur might be out. Who knows? The Dolphins basically have all bases covered right now because other than the fact that Mike Mcdaniel is not going to be there anymore, and, the San Francisco candidate basically is interesting. But he was considered a very good candidate regardless of Mcdaniel. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, by tomorrow night, we're going to know who's going to be the GM, and we can start.
Sammy, you made my wife feel bad now. Now she's missing home. So.
Oh, man. Sorry about that, Patty.
But
But who are your two guys? Who are your guys? Who are your guys? Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. Yes.
Oh, for me, my goodness, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I was pretty transparent with the names that I've brought up before in regards to veteran coaches. Again, I'm not closed off to anybody. I'm willing to listen in on any person, especially a veteran coach. Like I know, like you said right now, I'm not touching McCarthy. I'm listening to McCarthy. I'm gonna Ron Rivera. I know he's the general manager of UCLA, and I know he's an older guy, but I love Ron Rivera. I'm a big fan of Ron Rivera. My last name could have been Rivera, so I don't know if he's a cousin of mine. I don't know, but still, big fan. My wife hates when I say that, but it's true. But family history, those Puerto Ricans, they really mess up their last names. But, no, I like Ron Rivera, man. Coach of the year, probably can install, a foundation. Mike McCarthy, I understand what happened with Dallas and everything, but I'm not against listening on that. I don't know. Stefanski, of course. I know you guys are big fans, but there's not one guy that I'm really going to be like. I might go like I cringe more at first-time head coaches than I do veteran coaches. You can tell me veteran coach, and I'm willing to listen. And even if I go, but Cal, excuse me, thank you, Eric, Cal, Ron Rivera. But when you say like Joe Brady, but you know what? Because it's a new GM, because it's a new front office, because it's a new coach, it's a whole new thing. I'm willing to listen in on every one person. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I stand right now. I am absolutely okay. Because if this was Greer and a rookie coach, then I'd be, ugh. If this was a new GM and a McDaniel, then I'd be, this is a new GM, a new coach, whoever that's going to be. I'm not going to shut the door on not one person. I could there's things like I want to say. Like, do I really want? Again, I'm willing to listen. I'm excited. It's a new day for Miami. There you go. Oh, there you go, Eric.
Yeah, no. So for me, all I will say, and I think this is an interesting thing about the interview process. Will the question be asked? Because I know the structure that Bobby, Sammy, and I and all would like. The reason why I want a veteran head coach also is I do see someone like a John Harbaugh or a Kevin Stefanski or a Matt LaFleur if he gets let go, or who knows, even a Mike Tomlin if he doesn't do well this weekend. You could see, no matter what, I could see the position where this person's the general manager, but are you prepared that if we interview for head coaches, that potentially that head coach is the VP of player personnel, meaning that you are the scout, you're the amateur scout, meaning that you're the one going to look for the new players. But in terms of what I want to see on that football field, that player decision falls on the head coach, because you do know that if they hire a Chad Alexander or John Eric Sullivan and they decide that they want to interview a Kevin Stefanski or John Harbaugh, they're going to come in with, I want to have player personnel decision-making. They're going to want Sean Payton power. They're going to want Andy Reid power.
Of course. And again, Harbaugh would that's justifiable with Harbaugh. Stefanski, I don't know if I would say that about Stefanski.
Two-time coach of the year. He will ask for it.
Yeah, he could ask for it, but I don't know.
I'm just saying.
No, I know, I get it. But and it would be the Andy Reid treatment, which again, though, someone like a Harbaugh who's earned that. Stefanski is a two-time coach of the year. McCarthy being a champion and whatever, does he do that? If that was to come in, that's where it kind of draws the line, is where do you want to put that power and how do you want to structure it? I think you're right on, Evan. I think, whatever coach comes in here, and that's why it's good to have that new GM coming in at the same time. You're getting two guys, and maybe Harbaugh and Alexander obviously being the perfect pairing possibly, because you'll get guys who are both on the same page with what they want to do and how they want to do it. And it's not just the Chargers, with Jim Harbaugh. It's what Chad Alexander's done with the Ravens with Ozzie Newsome and company. So that stands out.
Yeah,
to be very interesting. Do you see anything else popping up on?
Yeah, that's what I give you. So McDaniel was informed this morning It was a total shock to him. His camp fully expected for him to be retained. Ross decided to make the decision after assessing the situation in the aftermath of Mcdaniel. But this is what they're ready for this one. This is, I think, why I didn't love the delay. A Dolphins player conveyed to me that Mike held exit meetings with players last couple of days, talked about the offseason plan, their potential role for next season. So this stunned a lot of people. Probably shouldn't have stunned people, but did. But it's nobody's fault. This is life. Things change, and teams must do what's best for them. And then somebody actually wrote, I see the Harbaugh sweepstakes coming down to the Giants versus Dolphins. That might outfire Mike Mcdaniel. Dolphins added Chargers assistant GM Alexander to the GM search after Harbaugh was fired. Alexander worked more than 10 years with Harbaugh before 5 years with blah, blah, blah. But actually, I have an interesting question for you guys. And I don't think this is tampering. I do see Jim Harbaugh, because I don't know if you saw Jim Harbaugh's interview yesterday. He was praising his brother. Yes, of course, he's praising his brother. There's still a relationship there. I will actually see Jim Harbaugh, even though he said go to the NFC, playing a role in his brother's decision of where he goes next. So if I have a feeling that whatever decision is made, that Jim Harbaugh will be a consultant. I guarantee you when he took the job with the Chargers, I guarantee you those brothers are like, I see the decision.
Yeah, but Jim didn't care. He didn't care.
No.
He went to the Chargers. He didn't care.
Yeah. No, but John Harbaugh didn't tell him where to go. I'm just saying I see this as a family decision for him.
Maybe.
And what gives him, because I don't think it's the best, because no matter what, I don't think John Harbaugh is going to decide on the Giants because they have Jackson Dart. John Harbaugh is going to find, just John Harbaugh alone will create Bobby and Sammy. He creates the attraction of bringing in players. He is your recruiter. He will change the foundation of who wants to come play for your team.
Yeah,
that's what I see. John Harbaugh is your recruiter. He will change. The whole Tua situation doesn't bother me. The cap situation, because people are going to be willing to come here, and he'll either draft a quarterback or bring in a bridge. Don't be surprised next year. Potentially, if they can't get someone in the draft, if Joe Flacco is there with Quinn Ewers and someone you draft, if Ty Simpson is drafted, I don't see that. I could see that. So, who had the greatest success with Joe Flacco?
I'm gonna let you Evan keep running with it, but I'm gonna say this before I bounce there because I gotta run back upstairs. But what I'm gonna say here,
me too.
The last Baltimore coach, and Evan, I don't know if you want to drop the link for people to hop on with you for a second, but I will say for those on FTSN for watching, first of all, thank you everybody who's tuning in right now. The breaking news edition here on FTSN with Finn Stans, and myself. Both of these guys will be again live tonight. Sammy on Finn's TV Plus for the season wrap up, and then Evan will be on the Real Talk Finn's Talk roundtable there later tonight as well, so that you get all their continued reactions, just in case. I don't know how long this goes on without me, but I'll just say this: the last Baltimore coach to come to Miami, if that was to happen, won a Super Bowl. Actually won 2. So that was Don Shula. So we will wait and see if that could be history repeating itself. I will say, no matter what happens, it is a good day for Dolphin fans, just because, not because McDaniel was fired, because it's not good for anybody to get fired, but because it's a clean sweep. How many years have all of us have been banging the table for them to blow it up, start fresh with a new coach and a new general manager? We know we're in for a tough one. This doesn't mean Super Bowl for anything. This doesn't mean anything yet. This is just wait and see. So this is an exciting time. I called my mother. I said, I got to tell you, because I would be calling Ralph right now to tell him, I got breaking news. So, so I called
If I wasn't
her.
in my call, Bobby, if I wasn't in my call,
I know.
You're getting the Bobby.
I know. So, it's going to be an exciting offseason. It already was going to be because of the draft of the new quarterback and what's going to happen there, new general manager. But Sammy, Evan, my goodness, we are in for a very epic offseason as we're covering the Miami Dolphins. Evan, always with you on FTSN. And, of course, we got On the Clock, the draft show, which was awesome on Monday night. Sammy and myself with Finn Talk today on Thursday nights, which is going to be epic. We're going to have a great time. So I appreciate you, fellas. Thank you, everybody.
Before you go, Bobby, I don't know if you want to hear this.
Yeah.
Official statement from Mike Mcdaniel.
Oh,
coaching this team and being a part of this great franchise has been the honor of a lifetime. When I took this job, I had a vision of a team that was bonded together and played with passion and energy on the path to winning championships. I gave everything I had for that goal. I am disappointed, especially for the fans, that we did not have better results on the field, but I'm grateful for every coach, player, and staff member who poured themselves into that vision alongside me. I'm grateful to Stephen Ross for the opportunity he gave me, a little-known coach at the time when he hired me. Most of all, I'm thankful to my wife, Katie, and my daughter, Ayla, for their unending love and support. I love this game, the people, and the relationship that are part of it, and I will ever cherish my time in Miami.
There you go.
No, thank you, Coach.
Thoughts on that, Bobby?
No, just a class act, man. Look, no one can ever doubt the guy as a person. Yeah. Again, anytime when I saw him a couple of years ago, and his interactions with my mother and just with people in general, and you could see his relationship with his family. You could tell he's a grade A human being, you know. But you know, again, he was put in a tough situation in Miami with people expecting him to win now, and you know, it's just what it was. You know, he wasn't. You know, it's just a tough task. But the fact of the matter is, no matter if you loved him or hate him, it was the best decision for the Miami Dolphins because they needed to clean house. So I wish him the best of. I really do. I hope that people, you know, I know you're right. You know, and when he does have success, because I believe he will find success, people will say, "I told you so. We should have waited." Well, the fact is, sometimes people need fresh starts, and I think wherever he goes next, he probably will find that success because the lessons he learned in Miami. What he learned with the Miami Dolphins, he had the learning here. So I wish all the luck in the world to Mike McDaniel. God bless, and you know, hey, we're off the better pastures now. I think because it's new coach, new GM, new quarterback. Let's roll, man. Fins up. So I'm gonna bounce, but you guys go ahead and wrap it up when you're ready, and I will talk to you all later on.
Hey, Bobby. See you later.
So, Sammy,
You're
good for how much longer?
I have 5 good minutes.
We'll do 5 more minutes, and then we'll cut it. Obviously, you're going to be on Fins TV Plus tonight. What time are you on tonight, by the way? Because I
7 with Eddie Chapo there.
Yeah, so we're cutting over around 7:30, but yes. I'll be in your comments for the first half an hour.
Yes.
So right now, if you look at what are the people? What are the Fins TV people right now? Speak for them, because I'm going to speak for some of the people here who are on FTSN. What are Steve Hallett and Adrian and that group thinking right now? What are Jason? Like, what do you think?
And Sherry, they helped them.
Sure.
The first message I got was from Steve Hallett. I said, "Wow!" And I think he must be an edit. Sherry must be an edit. They really wanted to. I just got a message from Steve. Steve, if you're watching, I'll read it as soon as I'm done here. They must be elated, and for good reason. You know, the status quo was not enough. You know, we cannot continue this. I was hesitant of if this was going to happen or not, just because, like what I said many times, Steve Ross, and he said, he loved Mike McDaniel, and that made it hard for him. But I truly believe that when those GMs interviews started, and he took the intake for Aikman, who was critical on Monday Night Football, and the others, and said, maybe it's not going to work. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I do believe the Alexander thing is interesting, but I urge Dolphins fans to be cautious, because Alexander might go back to the Chargers. Harbaugh might take the Ravens money and wait a year, and then wait for another opportunity next year when they can both be together with probably a better quarterback and a better quarterback option situation to draft in the draft or something. So that's an option. Again, I'm encouraged with the fact that it's a blank canvas. I will not discard the fact that they might both be here, and that will be, if you remember, I said in the postgame, the pregame, so many times that I would even trade for Harbaugh. I said it even September, when people clamoring for people to find Mike McDaniel. So that's my candidate. That's always been either him or Mike Tomlin. I would trade for either one of them, because I want an established head coach that knows how to run the team, and the general manager that knows how to build a structure. Time will tell if they can find a way to do that, but it's a different time in Miami. I think that the fact that they brought Aikman from the outside was the critical. What the DSC said. I cannot read it. Read it to me.
George just temporarily cured from his flu. The cure for George has been Faithful Podcast is the fact that Mike McDaniel was fired. Boy.
He was dying yesterday. If he's back live now, I'm gonna go.
Oh, he's back to life now.
Come
back
on,
to life, back to reality.
If he's good, I'm so glad of it. But you know, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, no. For me, if I had to make a prediction now, if I'm Mike McDaniel, okay, and I were his advisor, I would not jump into another head coaching opportunity until he has a chance to really show his moxie as an offensive coordinator, where he gets to call the plays. And no, for me, no. If I was him right now, and if I'm this team, I hire him right now, and I want the best for Mike McDaniel. So always remember, guys, my issue with him was as head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the situation where I was hard on him. He should be going to the Washington Commanders. Why? Healthy Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, who basically is the reason why he got sober and he was able to take 2 years off and figure out his life. That he gets a fresh start with Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels and all that. That's where he should be going.
Yeah, and he's probably going to go there. Like, there's a vacancy there, so that makes a lot of sense. That would put Mike McDaniel back in the horse.
Quarterback, veteran head coach,
defensive veteran head coach.
Not the hardest division in the world. So
that would be great for him. Again, I will go with what Justina Anderson said on Ftsn on Tuesday, that she heard that some people believe that Mike McDaniel will take a year off if that,
he has the money.
So he has the money now to spend with his family. So we'll have to wait and see. Evan, I have 1 more minute.
Yeah. So tell us what you're going to be talking now. What do you have to redo your graphics for Fins TV Plus tonight? Like, what are your plans tonight for Fins TV Plus?
Well, Bobby's the producer, so Bobby will have to redo the graphics for tonight on Fins TV Plus. With Eddie Chapel, we had a lot to talk tonight, yes, but we're going to be very long. Frankie Fresco is going to be joining us for that, so it should be a lot of fun. Yeah,
no, I'll be on tonight. Well, I'll be not hosting, but I'll be there helping out with, I think Greg Maney's going to be joining. I'm not sure. Maybe Curtis from Ace Per Head, I think, might be joining. I can't remember. As well as Steve Malloy will be having our roundtable with Real Talk Fins Talk. Trust me.
If you need me, let me know. I'll parachute.
Yeah, you're happy to jump on. I'll grab you. I'll send you the link. But no, guys, this is the reason today is let's not fight as Dolphins. We're always going to have disagreements. We're all Dolphin fans. But this is a day that we have not experienced in this in the last 16 years of the Miami Dolphins.
Some fans never have.
We've never experienced this, guys, where there are veteran head coaches out there who want jobs. There's a head coach, there's an owner who's willing to spend. He got rid of the trifecta of Greer, McDaniel, and Tua. We are free from these three as much as we want to be. This is a blank slate opportunity. And if you bring in an established head coach, you're able to turn things around quickly. Let's be sad for Mike McDaniel and the fact that however, the guy will be paid for the next 3 years. He could take a break. He could figure out what he would do. He will not be unemployed for long. But this is the right thing for the Miami Dolphins.
Absolutely.
This is the best way forward. No matter what they do, whatever head coach they hire, whatever GM they hire, they are going to have the opportunity, and let's hope they have our support. We love we love all of our Dolphin fans. We love this team. We care about this franchise. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Fins TV Plus tonight with Eddie Chapo and my brother, Fin Sammy. Check me out with Steve Malloy, Greg Maney, and on the roundtable tonight with additional guests from Steve Malloy. GSG probably tonight if Steve Malloy lets me do it. I will share the screen and I will buy my HN jersey. If not, I will do it tomorrow night on Fins Talk Overtime with Brett Lagasse and Greg Maney, and hopefully Bobby will want to join, or Sammy, you want to join, because who knows, we're going to have GM talk. So Sammy, you're welcome to join Fins Talk Overtime tomorrow night too. We're going to have so much to talk about, guys. Like and subscribe, and as always, Fins up.